Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video, we're going to do a Dialpad Contact Center demo for 2023 for you guys. And today, I have a special guest with me, Adam Hiatt with Dialpad. How are you doing today, Adam?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to show me and the viewers you guys' incredible platform. So before we get into this, let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory of why we're doing this video today. So for those of you who frequent the channel, you may remember that for the VOIP Awards 2022, Dialpad actually won the Best Contact Center Award last year. So the other thing that you may or may not remember is that earlier in 2022, I actually went to Las Vegas, Nevada for Channel Partners Expo, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting Adam in person. And I'll actually tag this video above, but he actually did for me on the fly a really quick Dialpad Contact Center demo. So I actually called Adam back to do a bit of a much more in-depth demo, which we're going to do today for you guys. But before we get into that, Adam, can you briefly explain to the viewers who you are and what your role at Dialpad actually is?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Prince, and for the award. Obviously, what an honor. We're really proud of the platform that we've developed here and continue to innovate. So I am hoping that I'm able to show the audience some things that they didn't get to see earlier in 2022. Yeah, my role here at Dialpad is lead a team of sales engineers focused on supporting our partner and customer community. So whenever there's an opportunity to put Dialpad in front of anybody who's looking to make an investment into a communication platform, whether it be unified communications or contact center or meetings or all three, that's really what my team does to make sure that we fully vet out the project and are supportive of the customer's needs throughout and help them implement the solution. I'm based here in Denver, Colorado. I've been in the space for about 20 years as well.
Cool. Thank you for that introduction. And for those of you who don't know, because I've worked with Adam on other projects as well, and we've talked offline, he's one of the brainiacs over there. So when he says that he's a sales engineer, like he knows his stuff from the technological standpoint of what Dialpad can do. Really quick for anybody who's watching this video, Adam, that this is the first time they're hearing the name Dialpad. They don't know who Dialpad is or what Dialpad does. Can you briefly let those viewers know who you guys are? What do you do at Dialpad in the general sense, the company?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we really have a platform that is positioned to serve the needs of customers who are looking for a phone system or a contact center solution, or maybe they're looking to provide video messaging or meetings. What's unique about Dialpad is we offer all of the communication needs of small, medium, and enterprise businesses globally. So again, whether they're looking for just a basic phone system or really complex, mature, enterprise class contact center, we can really kind of cover that entire spectrum of customers' needs. What's truly unique about our platform, though, is that we have artificial intelligence at the core, embedded into every single interaction. And so what I like to say is that we're actually more of a data company than we are a phone system company. Our intent is to leverage the conversations that are taking place every day on our customers' environments to create data and then to harness that data. And that might be to impact the outcome of an individual call, or it could even be to step back and be able to understand calling activity and trends and extract meaningful insights to help our customers focus on making the changes that are going to help their businesses be better. Whether that's selling more, increasing customer satisfaction, or decreasing agent attrition, all of these goals can be easily solved by simply accessing the data that already exists within the phone system and contact center environments. Because of all this, we've really rebranded ourselves as an AI customer intelligence platform. And I think that really speaks to the fact that we're there to create, harness, and empower our customers to service their customers better.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And for those of you who are watching, talk about a little bit on what he mentioned about AI. You're going to want to watch this entire video. If you're a contact center or call center that's looking for a solution, I would even encourage you to maybe break out a notepad, because he's going to show you some features, especially towards the end, that you're going to find may help you streamline your business quite a bit better and communicate with your customers and contacts a lot better as well. So before we actually jump into this, Adam, or actually this is for you guys, the viewers. As he already mentioned, Dialpad has some really powerful AI-based software. To be totally transparent with you guys, it's too many features in the platform to go over in one video, but I wanted Adam to highlight 4 specific areas that we at Rich Technology Group, me and my team, have found almost every call center or business that has a medium to high or unusual volume of incoming or outgoing calls has found these particular features or functions are most important. So the ones we're going to go over today, just so you guys know, is going to be remote workforce empowerment, how Dialpad system helps enable and better enhance that since everybody's working remotely these days. Another one we're going to jump into is going to be call flow management. This is handling volumes or complex routing for incoming and outgoing calls. Another one we're going to do is call reporting. I don't really need to elaborate there. I think anybody out there that's got a phone system knows that call reporting is very important. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about CRM and apps integration. And then Adam's going to surprise you guys with some other special features and things that Dialpad can do towards the end of the video. So without further ado, Adam, first question for you. Can you show the viewers how Dialpad's contact center solution and software helps better enable people in the remote workforce these days?
That's a great question. We saw a huge shift to remote workers, obviously, in the past few years, and that seems to be a continuing trend. I think that we'll see a little bit more of a hybrid workforce moving forward. So being able and being capable of supporting workers regardless of location is going to be important for all of our customers in the future. Our platform is able to run what we would call a soft phone or that agent desktop interface from either PC or Mac. And we also have a browser version as well. So it's really independent of the hardware at its core. And we also have applications for iOS and Android. So if and when needed, you can even act as a business phone system user and or contact center agent from that mobile device. So on my screen, that's exactly what you're seeing. I have the mobile experience on the far right, and I have the desktop application on the far left. There's going to be a few differences with regards to feature parity from mobile or desktop. But if you need to simply be able to log in, change your status, and start taking calls and or responding to voicemails or messages, you can do that from both environments. So that is really key to be able to, first of all, support workers regardless of location, regardless of device. Now, as you can see on my screen, I have the mobile application on the right. I have my desktop application on the left. And what you notice is that for Dialpad, call centers are simply a drop-down menu. It's not a separate application. We don't have one app for the business users, business phone system users, and another application for your contact center agents. It's all one interface. And that, first of all, eliminates a lot of the headaches and obstacles associated with empowering users with multiple applications that they would need to do their job. Now, I'm going to move my mobile application off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and simply place a call because I want to show you some of the cool AI in action. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place this call from a tech support queue, and I'm going to call my Google Voice number that's actually running on my mobile device to show you what this would look like. Now that I am mid-call, the phone is going to be connected. Great. And now that the call has been connected, the first thing you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner is artificial intelligence hard at work. This is the DNA of Dialpad. Every single call has the ability to have artificial intelligence or transcription turned on. This is the first step because what we're doing is we're generating data. You can see it's capturing everything that I'm saying. It's converting it into text and it allows me to leverage that text on live calls to hopefully impact the outcome. It might be providing the agents with answers to difficult questions or maybe redirecting them to other sources of information to log a piece of data or to complete a task. To give you an example of what that might look like, if I had a customer calling in asking for some assistance to track a package, pretty common request, but if it's not necessarily something that I've done before, what we have popping up on the screen is a real-time assist card that gives us the information that I as an agent might need to be able to more successfully and expeditiously handle that request, providing that customer with excellent customer service. Now, the reason why I'm showing this to you, Prince, is because you asked us to talk about how Dialpad can really enable that workforce remotely. This is a way that the agent can sit back from their kitchen table or wherever they're at and have that coaching being provided to them without them necessarily having to go out and ask for help. It's AI listening to the conversation and providing that assistance. So again, they don't have to put that call on hold. Now, another way that we might be able to provide that level of remote monitoring or remote support is by jumping into the actual contact center view. And by doing so as a remote supervisor, I'm able to see all of my agents live on calls. I can see the sentiment of those calls and determine which of these they might actually need some human interaction. They might need some live human support. I see that this call is currently negative. This sentiment is based on words and phrases. And I can see that this might be a scenario where I might want to jump in and offer my assistance. At that point, I'd have the option of viewing the call. I can barge in. I can even take over that call. So all those standard escalation options are there.
Wow. Okay. I dig that.
Yeah.
So jumping into my second question, while we're on the subject of calls, one of the reasons, as you already know, Adam, that somebody would be looking at a contact center solution, in this case, i.e. Dialpad, for their call center or for their business that gets maybe a high or unusually high amount of incoming and outgoing calls, is to basically alleviate the amount of stress and work required to serve those customers and take those incoming and outgoing calls. How can Dialpad's contact center solution help with call flow management?
Another great question, Prince, and thanks for asking. I think what it starts with is building a platform that's meant to be modern. It's meant to be beautiful, and it's meant to present data in a very easy to consume manner. Reporting has been in place for decades, offering leadership within organizations the opportunity to harness data points, KPIs, or metrics that they care about, but it's very difficult to actually extract something meaningful from those reports. So that's something that we've really tried to lean into, is how can we present the same information in a different way that helps get the point across quickly and easily. So I'm in the Dialpad admin portal right now, simply looking at the analytics dashboard, and I'm simply looking at a primary data point, which is call volume over time. Now, as you can see, it's giving me a visual indication of call volume, so I know where my peaks and valleys are, and with that information, I can determine if maybe I have a heat spot that needs to be solved for. But as I scroll down, something that often comes up in conversation is how to identify those calls that were either missed or abandoned, because those are scenarios where we might want to make an improvement to the existing call flow, right? That might mean changing an IVR or an auto attendant, maybe moving agents around a little bit to have staffing match up with volume requirements. So this is an example of how a pretty standard piece of data is being represented in the Dialpad analytics dashboard to make that easy to consume. Not only do I know a number though, but I'm also able to jump into that data point and have a description or a list of calls that really made up that data point. So I'm actually looking at those abandoned calls from that support queue over the last 30 days, and I've gone ahead and I've filtered it down to all calls that were abandoned over 9 minutes in length. So these are some customers who probably sat on hold for a little bit too long and ultimately gave up. That's an opportunity for us to learn and improve our call flow as a result, to make sure that we're successfully handling all of the callers that call in. By clicking on the call journey link on the far right hand side, I'm able to see that customer's journey while they were within our IVR, auto attendant menus, or even sitting on hold waiting to speak to an operator or an agent. This is just a quick and easy example of how our application is meant to solve for some of the needs of the contact center environments that have a whole lot of volume, but make it easy for them to understand where they can really spend their time. And then, Prince, the last thing that I would just simply point out is how easy it is to ultimately design those call flows in the first place. So I'm in the administrative environment now, simply looking at a contact center queue. And if I want to make changes to my call routing as a result, again, it's all very click-based here. It's not coding. It's not especially complicated. I can determine how calls are routed directly to agents, or if I want to put them into a menu, for example, I have the option of making it very easy to design that flow, inserting things like hold time, inserting things like callback requests. Again, it's all based in this very easy to understand formatting, really hopefully putting the power in the hands of the users or the supervisors themselves, maybe instead of putting that responsibility in IT. So what do you think?
I actually dig it. To give a little input here, a little feedback. I like the fact that, there's a lot of providers that I've looked at that just give you reporting, and it's very basic analytics or reporting. But if I'm understanding what you've got here, it's not just about, okay, you've got the reporting. It's how can you take that reporting and understand, okay, does this reporting indicate that there needs to be some changes in the call flow, in the programming of the system? Or does this reporting basically say, no, the call flow is set up fine technologically, but maybe there's some changes that need to be made on the organization level with the actual agents or the way that calls are being handled or not being handled. I like that. I do have a question though about this. And you've been to my channel before. And for those of you guys, the viewers that are watching, I'm a stickler when it comes to customer service. I understand that there could be a lot of people that could adopt you guys' system and have this data, but they not really know what it means, which means they then can't extract the value from it to make the changes that are maybe required. What kind of support do you guys offer where somebody would be able to, if they called and say, hey, I've got these reports, can somebody at Dialpad look at this with me and tell me, what does it mean? What does this mean that we should do with the system? I'm assuming you guys have some sort of support for existing customers that will help them understand that data and how they can utilize it to improve their organization.
Yeah, it's a great question, Prince, and I think that that's something that this industry as a whole has struggled with for decades. We build out these robust, powerful applications. We put them in the hands of customers who don't live in this space all day, every day, and we hand them the keys and say, good luck. That's not acceptable, right? We need to be holding their hand. We need to be making sure they understand the power of the system so that they can really see a return on that investment. So we designed the system to, first of all, be easy to implement and easy to use and easy to find those really powerful insights that they can take action on. But of course, not only that, we have a support team at Dialpad that's that's going to guide them. So everything from account managers to those customer success managers that are available to make sure that they're walking them through what they're looking at and really understand the data that's behind it so they can determine if it's something that's important or not important, or how important it is and what it would take to make a change. And the last kind of point that I would make is we offer ability to measure. And that's something, again, I think a lot of platforms struggle with in today's marketplace is we sell, based off of a promise of a feature or a function or a business outcome or a result. But it's oftentimes very difficult to measure what is happening today, or what the customer is doing today. And it's difficult to show improvement if you can't go back and measure again. So there's a couple really cool features of our platform that speak to that I'll probably show you more towards the end of the call today.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So you touched on reporting a little bit, but I want to dive a little bit deeper.
Sure.
Show me and the viewers a little bit more about the power of Dialpad's reporting, specifically regarding the agents. Now, for those of you, the viewers, I know some of you that are watching this that may be employees in a call center. This may not be your cup of tea, but for the folks that may be watching that are like the HR manager or the CEO or the CIO or, the hiring manager or something, you're going to want to know that your agents are being as efficient as possible, not only on calls, but with their time, with the incoming and outgoing calls. Can you touch on some of that a little bit, Adam, on just the general sense of what that looks like to be able to see team reporting in the general sense from a productivity standpoint?
Again, another great question, Prince. Whether you're the CEO or you're the manager of a sales team or the supervisor within a contact center, it's pretty important to know how your team is spending their time and make sure that they're spending it efficiently. So, of course, that data is built into our analytics portal. And again, it's not just a pivot table or an Excel sheet that has a bunch of data that's really hard to understand. We present it in a very visual way. So again, in my analytics portal, what we're looking at right now is agent availability over time. It's really exactly what you were referring to, showing how my agents are spending their time, broken down into a couple of really key metrics. So for example, how much time they're spending off duty, or how much time they're spending on calls or in wrap up, or maybe handling some other call center activity. Being able to quickly and easily sort this information, identify opportunities for improvement is key. It's not just having a report, but it's being able to quickly determine where the weaknesses are or where the strengths are so you can create more predictable outcomes.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So, into my final question, and then we're going to get into some special features and things like that. So for those of you still watching, keep watching. Let's talk about one thing that I think is the big thing nowadays, CRM and app integrations. I think everything is becoming more and more compatible with everything, from your productivity softwares like Microsoft Office to your email like Gmail or Outlook, to even things like, your social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. Can you briefly show or describe to the audience the capability and power of Dialpad's Contact Center integration with CRMs and apps? And can you maybe name a few of what you and your team have seen as the most popular or most adopted CRM or productivity suite apps with the Dialpad Contact Center platform?
Yeah. So CRMs and just integrations as a whole, it's a very complex conversation, and never is the answer yes or no. It's always tell me more. What is the application you're looking to integrate into, and what are you hoping to achieve from that integration? And I would say that Dialpad has a very friendly outlook on that. If we don't have a native out-of-the-box integration, we're going to lean on our open APIs to hopefully support what the customer's end goal is. Now, I would point any customer who's interested to our public website to visit dialpad.com/app-marketplace, where they can see a full list of all the applications where we have native out-of-the-box integrations. So some of the more common are going to be your Salesforce, your Zendesks, your HubSpots, your Microsoft Dynamics. Again, there's a whole list of them. And if it's not a native out-of-the-box solution, again, that's where APIs might come in. I often like to point our customers to our Dialpad Chrome CTI as well. It's a way that we can embed a soft phone into any application that's web-based, being accessed through a Chrome browser, so that they don't have to leverage a third-party soft phone or an extra application. They can simply have all those calling, messaging capabilities directly from the CTI in that website. An example of what that might look like is we have that running on our HubSpot integration right now. So I'm on the contact screen within HubSpot, and you see in the lower right-hand corner, I have a soft phone. Right, this is exactly what that CTI integration offers. Giving you simply another view of what that might look like in Salesforce. I have another Salesforce CTI running in the lower left-hand corner of my Salesforce environment. Again, giving me the ability to make or take calls as a business user, as an agent, not having complete feature parity when compared to the desktop application application, but enough to at least get me started. And another big thing that we do that's harnessing the power of Dialpad AI is that it's possible at the end of every interaction to automatically log those call details against the record that's created in that CRM. So in Salesforce, for example, every activity that's created would have not just the call detail records logged against it, which a lot of organizations can do. That's going to be things like when the call took place and who was on the call and how long it lasted, but very importantly, a call summary. This link right here that we're posting is going to take the user back to the Dialpad environment and give them full access to the recording and the transcription and the ability to collaborate on that particular interaction. What we're doing here is we're making that CRM, which is supposed to be the source of truth, that much more truthful because it includes every word and phrase that was said within that interaction.
Wow. Wow. That actually brings me to my next question. But before we go to that, I'm going to ask you a two-part question. What would you say the top CRM integrations are for Dialpad that you hear most about with the sales teams and the people out there on the sales floor?
Yeah,
we know Salesforce is one. I'm curious.
Salesforce is far and away going to be the number one CRM that we work with. We have a beautiful integration that goes even far beyond what I showed you today, right? Being able to tap into the power dialer if you have needs for like high volume outbound campaign calling. But then HubSpot and Zendesk are also two other very, very common CRMs or ticketing systems that we do a lot of business with. But we're bringing new native out of the box integrations to the market every day. Just in the last year, we brought MS Dynamics, Copper CRM, and many other. And we even have some vertical specific environments that we have built out integrations to, such as in the legal space, a pretty common product known as Clio.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Clio.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Sure.
So to jump back into one of the features that you were just showing about the truth is always kind of like the great liberator. One special feature I wanted you to show the viewers really quick that we touched on a tiny bit. Can you show the viewers a little bit about the real-time call transcription and also about how its searchability works? Because that's a really popular thing that people ask us about in relation to Dialpad's AI and software.
All right. Well, good thing I still have this call going. I've been talking to myself here for about 15 minutes, but the real-time transcription is a really valuable aspect of the Dialpad solution. Transcription and even AI has become kind of ubiquitous. Everybody's talking about it right now. What's different about Dialpad is we're not just transcribing, but we're transcribing in real time, right? And that's key. It's not near real time. It's not a transcription or a piece of data that's going to be provided to you 10 seconds or 10 minutes or a week later. You get it immediately, which allows you to take action on what's being said. I showed you earlier some of those remote monitoring and coaching capabilities that we have, but it doesn't stop there. One thing that I like to do is leverage the search bar that's right at the top of the application. If I was to jump into this search bar and really type any word or phrase, let's just say I typed the word Microsoft, it's going to pull up for me really a lot of different pieces of information that I can then utilize. So it's going to show me all of the messages, which are going to include internal chats as well as SMS or MMS messages that have gone back and forth between me and others where Microsoft was discussed. It shows me that over 50 calls took place where we discussed Microsoft, and I was in 24 meetings where we talked about Microsoft. So by clicking on these calls or clicking on these meetings, right, I can then jump directly into that individual conversation and jump right to that moment where it was talked about recently or even quite a few months or even years ago. And then the last thing that I'll quickly jump in to show you more about that is I'm going to go back to the call history page that I showed you earlier, and I'm just going to type my name now. And I'm able to find all the conversations that I was in where maybe Microsoft was discussed. So from this screen, I'm able to capture that. I can type Microsoft if I want. Every time that I spoke about Microsoft, if that comes up. So here I have the results of every time that Microsoft was even mentioned on any of my calls. And in this case, it's over the past 90 days. But Prince, what's really cool here is I can even get more specific. I could add additional keywords. So I'm searching by multiple keywords now, or maybe I'm wanting to add a moment. So maybe every time I was talking about Microsoft, I was maybe upset and said a swear word, or maybe a different competitor was mentioned, right? I can start kind of filtering by multiple results instead of just one, which allows me to find those interactions very quickly and then start digging into them and reviewing them.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, final question that I have for you, Adam. Mm-hmm. Is there any other notable features or noteworthy functions within the Dialpad Contact Center platform that you'd like to share with the client, with the viewers before we wrap things up?
Absolutely. And I'm just going to leave you maybe with one feature that we brought out to market in the last 12 months because I've never seen anything like it. And it's incredibly exciting. And this might be the one reason why you buy Dialpad, aside from everything else we've talked about today. But almost every customer that I speak with struggles with one thing, and that is knowing if they're doing a good job for their customers. And the reason why they struggle with that is there's not a really good tool to try and collect that sort of information or feedback. Prince, do you happen to know the one tool that most organizations use to try and solicit feedback from their customers?
The only one that I know of is probably SurveyMonkey, I think is what it's called, or something like
You
that.
got
That's
it.
the only one that I know of.
You
So,
got it. Surveys. That's it. That's the one tool. Hey, Prince, do you fill out surveys?
depends. It depends on what company it is, and it depends on how many questions it asks. If it's 1 to 3,
Yep.
maybe. If it's one of those, oh, this is 20 questions, it'll only take a
hmm
minute, probably not.
You're selling it for me here. I appreciate this. Surveys are an expensive tool. You're probably going out and paying a third party like SurveyMonkey or many other products are in the
Yeah,
marketplace, and then customers simply don't fill them out. The average
yeah.
industry response rate's about 3%, and the vast
Wow.
majority of those are being rated as either ones or fives or lows or highs or zeros or heroes, whatever you want to call it. So it's not really representative. It's a tool that you're putting a lot of stake in because you're making changes, you're making investments, you're spending time and money, hoping to increase, your customer service capabilities based off of customer feedback. But the customer feedback is just such a small sample size, it doesn't work. We solve for that. We solved for it through AI. As you can see on my screen right here, we have something called AI CSAT. We're taking our AI engines and we're taking every single call, up to 100% of the interactions. We're running it through the engine to predict a customer satisfaction score. I don't need that customer to fill out the survey anymore. Now, we still offer those survey capabilities in SMS form or perhaps maybe in the IVR or the menu, but being able to take that responsibility away from the user, the consumer, to let us know how we're doing puts the power back in the hand of the provider. And so, because the power is back in the hands of our business owners, now they're able to spend their time really digging into these CSAT scores that they have that are now reflective of every interaction and every customer's feedback to find out where they need to spend their time. So I can start sorting by agent performance associated with CSAT, or I can start to search into those words or those moments that occurred and find out how when something is said or when something happens, how that affects CSAT. And now I know that I have a measurement. As I talked about earlier, I'm able to measure what things are looking like today. I have the data to back up what needs to change. I can then make that change and come back and measure again. And now the investments that we're making moving forward are focused on data. They're focused on real hard data that's applicable to a broader set of customer experiences. And as a result, our customers are seeing tenfold value of return on the investment they're making with Dialpad.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Adam. And first and foremost, thank you for being here and for sharing all of this with me and the viewers. The viewers are no stranger to you guys at Dialpad because we've done videos here and there on Dialpad and they know that you guys have some of the most powerful AI in the game. But I really appreciate you coming today and really showing them some of the proof in the pudding, like, behind the machine, like how it works and what the benefits are of the platform. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Prince. And one thing that I would just add to this, or maybe to leave the audience with, is Dialpad as a platform was designed to be easy to implement, easy to use, easy to consume, and easy to find that return on the investment. And I would say that it's rare that any one individual customer leverages everything that we do. So we're really going to be customized and flexible to the needs of our businesses, and hope that you would grow with us and start to turn on or add features as you redefine your needs over time. So whether you're a small business, a mid-market, or even a large enterprise needing business phone systems all the way up to contact center, we would love to talk to you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Adam. And to lead into what Adam just said, for those of you who are watching and you like what you saw today, or it piqued your interest, but you'd maybe like to talk with somebody at Dialpad and, see if there's a fit or see a more customized demo that's based on your specific business or your specific needs, that's what we're here for. If you reach out to me via the information that'll be below this video or on our blog, I'll actually hook you up directly with Adam and his team so that you can see not only a customized demo, you can speak with a rep over at Dialpad and get questions answered, and also get a quote with special pricing for going through Rich Technology Group. So as always, this is Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.